Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing a lost love reading to see, do they still think of you? So there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is this pink opal, along with this group of cards. Group 2 is the clear calcite, along with this group of cards. And group 3 is the citrine, along with this group of cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video if you would like to jump ahead. Hi, Group 1. You chose the pink opal, along with these cards, which I will start with to get kind of a feel for who is this person to you, some zodiac signs, and really start to answer that question. Do they still think of you? So we have the 3 of Pentacles, collaboration. 10 of Swords, painful ending. The World, cycle completion. 6 of Cups, memories and reunion. 4 of Cups, missed opportunity. 9 of Cups, satisfaction and wish fulfillment. Winter, you feel out in the cold, your answers arrive in winter. Feminine, divine feminine, you seeking her twin or soulmate. Marriage, legal partnership, commitment, marital bond, and societal contract. sacred space, altar, prayer, candles, commune with your own divinity. Not for you. And never-ending story. So, first of all, in terms of signs, with the Pentacles, we have Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Swords is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The World, for me as a reader, is fixed energy, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. And with the Cups, we have water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So definitely somebody with the Six of Cups and the memories, somebody who does still think of you. They are very nostalgic about this. I feel kind of with the Winter card, this is really reminding me of the Five of Pentacles, that sense of being out in the cold, a missed opportunity. Perhaps even with marriage, somebody that they may have overlooked you as a long-term partner in the past. They could have moved in another direction with somebody else romantically, or with that reference to not for you, could have sort of resigned themselves to not wanting to get married, not really believing in partnership of that nature, had chosen to remain kind of a perpetual bachelor or bachelorette. But that this is a decision that now that some time has passed, and they may have kind of evolved in their life, or sort of their expectations, their goals, their desires, their values may have really shifted and changed. And they could be at a point in their life now where they are starting to think about marriage. They are starting to think about settling down, and in terms of doing some kind of an inventory of relationships they've had in the past, maybe even compared to kind of who they're meeting at this point in time. And with this never-ending story, it's kind of just, you know, in the look on this the face of this fairy here is just this disappointment, this kind of exasperation, this person being just very dissatisfied with potential candidates for that long-term mate, that long-term partnership. And so it's really kind of got them in that sense of nostalgia, not really being satisfied with what's around them. And so kind of going back in time to sort of think about what are the qualities that they would want in a long-term partner, and these qualities that they are not able to really find in a very complete or exhaustive list in other people, that are in their kind of present reality. They are thinking back on, with the Nine of Cups, that satisfaction, that you ticked off so many of those boxes that when they were last dealing with you, that they really just took these things for granted. Again, with this Four of Cups, this missed opportunity, and this figure here just kind of staring off at this vortex of the distance. Kind of everything that they want is now very far away from them. So with the Ten of Swords and that energy of the painful ending, things could have ended pretty badly between the two of you, to where this person doesn't really know if they could re-enter your life. Maybe they've completely lost contact with you. They don't know how to get a hold of you. You may not be very reachable, or when they try to even Google you or look you up online, you don't really have a social media presence. They're not finding a lot of information about you, or what they are finding about you, it could be very painful. You could have moved on in another direction yourself. You could be married to somebody else, or maybe had been married and then divorced, and there's kind of an impression that they're getting that you're really just seeking to, like with this sacred space here, and commune with your own divinity, just really focusing on self-love, on kind of being your own wish fulfillment at this point in time. And so this person is really sensing, even if they're not able to see anything in the physical world, just kind of what they're feeling energetically into this is they're not really sure if you'd be open and receptive to kind of a reunion with them, with this collaboration card here in the Three of Pentacles. They're not really sure if you would be interested in working to kind of rebuild this connection, maybe start over, kind of let bygones be bygones. There's a sense of kind of, again, having missed that opportunity with you. And also in terms of, that painful ending, and again, sort of things ending very difficultly between you, if they chose another person, or cut things off very kind of in a cruel manner, in an abrupt manner, leaving you with more questions than answers in the past. There's a sense of really also being trapped in their head about that as well, with that swords energy, and kind kind of the imagery on this card of these sort of like phantom skulls here, these kind of ghosts of the past, kind of a past version of themselves that they may have matured out of, they may have kind of grown out of, but nonetheless, kind of the energetic residue of that, of the person that they were, the energy they were operating in, still kind of taints this connection, or in some way is kind of a lingering residue that they're not really sure how to move beyond. A lot might have been said, a lot might have been done. Fear really holding this person back. This feels like somebody who is just kind of looking at with the world that kind of energy of completion, and not really, again, knowing how to kind of regenerate things, how to move things forward in another direction. They could be leaning into sort of that yin energy within themselves with that this feminine card here, trying to use their intuition, maybe asking for signs, asking for guidance from the divine about how to reapproach you, how to re-enter your life. This does feel like somebody with this collaboration and this Six of Cups, that if given the opportunity would want to also come out of that winter stage in your connection, out of this kind of dead and gone dormant energy, to restart something together, honoring you also with that sacred space, appreciating you, recognizing you as, even with this feminine, as their counterpart, as their divine feminine. Perhaps if you are, if you're the feminine watching this, and this can be in relation to your masculine, someone you consider, even somebody who just kind of occupies that sort of predominantly masculine energy, that action-oriented energy, as opposed to the receptivity of kind of the feminine polarity. But this person could be viewing you now as a soulmate. This could be really, or a twin flame, and this has really come very clear to this person, this desire that they have to kind of rebuild out of this, to work together, to work in harmony, to kind of link up and partner up and build toward the foundation and the future of this connection, but feeling at a loss right now, feeling in this kind of this energy that it's kind of, they're destined to just sort of keep you in their heart space, as sort of again, this missed opportunity, this longing, this energy of regret, feeling almost kind of in this energy of self-pity at, now that they have really, through time and space and the experience of maybe realizing the grass wasn't truly greener on the other side, they're coming to deeply appreciate you. But again, with this energy of frustration and distance, not really knowing how to broach that distance between the both of you, there could still be a little bit of kind of pride and ego at play, but I feel it's mostly kind of a lack mentality or a defeatist attitude, with this dandelion here on the world card, recognizing you as that wish fulfillment, but kind of then almost, this imagery is reminding me of the next phase of it, that as a child, we blow on the dandelion and make our wish, or even as an adult, you can still do that, make your wish and kind of send those seeds out into the ether, to be carried along the winds to wherever they may land. And so it's something that this person could really, again, see that kind of window of opportunity has passed, that it's closed off, that this connection, that it's not for them anymore. They had a chance and they missed out on that. This can also really talk as well with that imagery of the dandelion and kind of making those wishes, wishing upon a star, sending those prayers out, those desires, those requests. Also with that feminine energy and this kind of that yin energy in this sacred space here, this person could really be getting in kind of in touch or moving more into that space within, that temple within, contacting and connecting with their spirit guides, their angels, with the divine, to really kind of make this plea, make this request to have a way shown, kind of an opening to either give them the courage to knock on that closed door and to put themselves out there, to move out of this energy of just assuming the worst and taking a chance, moving out of that kind of passive energy, stepping more into that yang role, that masculine role, that very active role. But this person currently, again, still just feels very much in this phase of reminiscing, thinking back on what they had, really a new appreciation for you, or a depth of appreciation that they might not have been capable of before, or that something has really highlighted for them. But they don't seem to be in a phase of doing anything about it, yet putting out that call from the soul level, for a way forward to be shown, for courage to really build, a wish that they have maybe to be able to see you again, to cross paths with you, or somebody who could also be in kind of a planning or preparation stage, kind of thinking also, if given another opportunity, if given another chance, what they would do better this time. And so this is kind of a painful round and round in their head that is occurring right now as far as these memories, these good times, and somebody who might really be kicking themselves for having kind of passed up on this opportunity with you in the past, or really having pushed this opportunity with you away in the past. And it's a sense that whatever they kind of moved toward, or whatever they prioritized, that has kind of gone cold. That has kind of gone dormant. There's been a die-off with that. There's a feeling of desolation, of being very alone. Even if this person is, for some of you, in some kind of a marriage, they feel very alone within that. They're really kind of lacking that deep soul bond with this other person. And so it could even be sort of as that connection, as that marriage has really evolved and it's come into its winter stage, where the two, that kind of initial, that honeymoon period, that giddiness has kind of worn off. Maybe time has passed, other kind of, elements that they've come to know about each other, or, two people, it also feels, who have grown apart. And in this kind of desolation within that connection, this person is definitely going also with this feminine energy, going within a lot, contemplating a lot, recognizing that they made the wrong choice in a partner, or that this connection that they are in did not have really what it took to stand the test of time, to really withstand a lot of obstacles and challenges, that it might have seemed very glamorous or very enticing on the surface level. But in terms of kind of those fundamental building blocks of compatibility and sort of this mutual interest in nurturing and growing the connection, supporting one another, challenging one another, to step into that best version of self, really being that support system, that cheerleader, and yet also that critic, kind of giving that sort of constructive criticism, that these things might be lacking in this other connection. And so as this has become apparent, as time is kind of passing, and there may just be more and more of a sense of kind of this isolation within this connection. Again, these thoughts back on the potential that was there with you, a missed opportunity, having made the wrong choice. So definitely somebody, a lost love, who is thinking very heavily about you. This feels like somebody who kind of is could be on the precipice of trying to plan some kind of action forward, but at the very least is thinking back very fondly on you, thinking of you as wish fulfillment, as kind of satisfying their emotional needs. They're seeing you as somebody that they wish they had chosen as that partner, that they wish that they had not maybe made a decision even to walk away and focus on other things, whether that was school, whether that was work, or again, just kind of this bachelorette kind of stance, kind of shying away from commitment as opposed to really contributing to building upon the kind of the connection and the intensity between the both of you in a very concrete and stable way. So somebody who is very much in their head, very much in their thoughts, but it feels kind of in that lack mentality, just in that kind of passive energy of sending out that plea, making those wishes, kind of feeling that their wishes and dreams did not actually come true, that the road that they have taken is in fact diverted them. It's divergent from what really would satisfy them at the soul level. So some self-pity there, some shadows that this person may need to work through, or for some of you could just remain kind of in this never-ending story energy for the rest of this lifetime. The remainder of this incarnation, they may choose to kind of just not break free of that kind of bubble of self-pity, of kind of this woe is me, and just seeing you as the one that got away, basically, is what this is really kind of symbolizing here. They definitely see you as that. For some, the pressure of that, the reality of that, compared to what they are experiencing, or kind of the options available to them, this will motivate them in time to take some kind of action, to become more assertive in kind of moving out of that energy, to reaching out, to kind of broaching that communication, taking a chance on maybe resurrecting this connection, cleaning up some of that damage of the past, or even if a lot of time has passed, to kind of revisit this with sort of a mature stance, as both of you have really changed and evolved and grown through your own life experiences independent of one another. For others of you, again, this will be somebody who just kind of just holds on to that. You will continue to hold this special place. For both scenarios, you hold a very special place in this person's heart. This is somebody who kind of sets this connection, sets this love, the experience with you, apart from all the rest, above all the rest. And there could also be, in tandem with that lack mentality, somebody who didn't really feel worthy of you, kind of put you up on a pedestal of sorts, viewed you as almost a very sacred being, something that because of their wounds and their distortions, they, just kind of self-sabotage that. Or at the time, they weren't able to really reflect and see that the qualities that they were kind of projecting onto you were in fact mirrored of the potential within themselves. This realization could be coming to them. For others, they may still just continue to kind of hold you in that very sacred space within, not determining themselves to be worthy of you, but it's kind of something that's just out of reach, not for them in this lifetime. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you, group one. What do they want to say? Okay, and they say, I fear that you will never look at me the same. It's hard for me to look at myself in the mirror. So that was just coming through in terms of that mirrored energy, somebody who really may have placed you on a pedestal in the past and saw all these really admirable qualities about you that they themselves did not feel worthy of. They weren't recognizing that potential within themselves. And they're also feeling with that Ten of Swords that a lot of damage has been done in the past. A lot of this could just be trapped in their thoughts. And as difficult as what might have occurred between you in the past is, I feel that over time, this person has kind of built that up. They have really, they may also be overestimating just how closed off you are to them. They may be somebody who is assuming the worst in this situation rather than taking a chance, and it's kind of that fear of rejection, that fear of kind of putting themselves out there only to lose again in this connection. Maybe people that are really also expecting you to kind of treat them the way that they treated you, really sort of assuming that you'd be operating out of that same distorted energy, not really aware or trusting in sort of the healing work you might have done on yourself, or just not really recognizing the distortion in which they were operating, and it's not a reflection of the distortion that you emanate. Because we all, to some degree, have some kind of distortion that fluctuates over time, and it shows up in different ways. But everybody has some kind of glimmer of that in themselves, and so this person could also be, kind of hiding away from you, or choosing to just kind of remain silent, remain in the shadows, because they're unwilling to kind of look at and fix that distortion within themselves. So instead, they're just kind of projecting that out, like it's not even worth trying, because as cruel as I was to this person, it's only reasonable they would be cruel back, instead of really taking a look at sort of why they're punishing themselves, why they almost feel that they would be worthy and deserving of kind of ridicule or cruelty from others, and really at a place right now of not being able to really address that wound of inadequacy within themselves that they need to heal in order to be able to realize that not everybody operates from that same energy. And it does speak to, really owning up to and acknowledging on some level that the way they treated you in the past might have been kind of unfair, or it might have been very cruel, but that doesn't necessarily equate with sort of what they would be stepping into if they were to approach you or reapproach you, or kind of knock on that door from a very healed place, from an ascended place with, an open heart and with pure intentions. This definitely feels like somebody who is not at the point of willing to entertain the possibility that they might be quite pleasantly surprised if they were to reach out to you at this point in time. And they also say, I wish you could understand that this was a difficult decision for me. In fact, I still struggle with it. So that was coming through in terms of somebody who had maybe chosen to go in the direction of another party, or somebody who had chosen to kind of remain single, remain unattached, that this is something, you know, that they are in a lot of regret about that, recognizing that missed opportunity, that energy of having kind of self-sabotaged, making the wrong choice, or what seemed like a good decision at the time has really, as time has passed with that world, it does feel like this isn't something that just happened recently, this lost love. It could be years even that has gone by, or, you know, a substantial period of time, at least a year since you've been dealing with this person. And it's something where, you know, the sting of that has not diminished for this person. It's almost like the more they put themselves out there, the more they experience with others, or, you know, seek to find and replicate the experience they had with you, only to come up short when dealing with others, that all of this just kind of reinforces that pain and that disappointment within themselves, and kind of blaming themselves, being very hard on themselves for the choice they made in the past. And they also say, if I could turn back time, I would do it all differently. So again, that energy of regret, having made the wrong choice, that missed opportunity, really wishing that they could do something different. Somebody, you know, for a lot of you, this could be somebody who, that feeling, that longing, that wishing, that will eventually give way to kind of a plan, somebody who's leaning into that sacred space within, who's really asking for guidance, asking for a sign, and a way forward will be shown. Over time, kind of the pressure of this that is not let up on this person, it's only increased, that will continue to kind of compound over time. So for a lot of you, this will eventually turn into something where they almost get to the point of not being able to kind of hold that pressure, just keeping this regret and this pain within, that they get to this point of feeling this need to take a chance. And for a lot of you, this can result in some kind of action or contact in a little further down the road. So I'm going to get a few more messages from this person's higher self, group 1. What do they want to say? Okay, and they say 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We still move forward in our twin flame dance. So that can be a confirmation for some of you that this is a twin flame. That also came up here on this feminine card, that reference to soulmate or twin flame. And this again is really talking about, you know, the more time that passes, the more encounters and experiences this person has with others, or the ability to not really find what it is that they are seeking in other situations, and kind of being forced to sort of look back with regret and longing on what they had with you in the past, the potential that existed there. You know, it's kind of like the more they are stepping into circumstances not meant for them, aligning with people who don't serve their greatest good, it's almost, it's pulling them even closer to that point of wanting to take a chance, wanting to make some kind of effort to change the circumstances between the both of you. And they also say, I will see you in our dreams where our love is pure. So you could be meeting with this person in dreams, dreaming about them a lot frequently. As you're heavily weighing on their mind, you could even be feeling them energetically, perhaps after a period of things being very cold and dormant with that winter energy. And this also really ties in for me with that kind of that energy of the dandelion and wishes, seeing you as this wish fulfillment, and also somebody who's really in the space of kind of daydreaming, dreaming about what if they had chosen you, what if they'd chosen to move toward or participate in this connection, as opposed to distance themselves in the past. Somebody who also dreams that someday the circumstances will align and they will have this opportunity to meet up with you once more, to kind of set the wrongs of the past right, to kind of rebuild this connection or move in a direction that at least offers some healing and some closure for the both of you. And they also say, don't cry, my darling, I still love you. So yeah, this person holds you in a very sacred place in their heart. For a lot of you, they would consider you the love of their life. Even if this is someone you were with very briefly, there's just something about this connection, the intensity of this, that, you know, through the time and circumstances that have separated the both of you, they still hold a lot of love for you. They still hold a deep regard for you. You're a very fond memory for this person. And at this time in particular, they are thinking back very strongly on this connection, on what they wish they had done different, and also kind of hoping and for some starting to strategize a way forward. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now, Group 1, about this situation. Okay, and we have attract. Set your intentions high and know you deserve to receive love, joy, and happiness. So this is just some guidance for you to continue to move forward in your life, continue to keep your vibration high. The more that you move in the direction of that which satisfies you, when you seek to kind of let go of that energy of longing, of pining that this person seems to be in, that stagnancy of thinking the times that are gone, that we can't go back and change that. The only thing to do is really take that wisdom and move forward to make better choices further down the road. And so the more that you are doing that, that you are actively participating in that in your own life, this can help to kind of energetically inspire this person to also take decisive action in the future. This is definitely a situation where if there's a new beginning, a reconciliation that is to occur in this connection, it's definitely going to be something that needs to be initiated by this person. They feel very much kind of in this sort of that energy of putting you on that pedestal, very overwhelmed by that, still needing to kind of work through some shadows within themselves, still needing to kind of face that distortion within themselves that feels unworthy of this type of love, longing for it, really wanting it, desiring it, but in some way sabotaging that when they've had the opportunity in the past, or not feeling that it's something that they are in a place now or at all of really being worthy and deserving of. Sort of this energy of the forbidden fruit, kind of look but don't touch, don't get in too close. Somebody who may have really kind of sabotaged things or pushed you away, kind of broken up with you, ended things with you before you could do that to them. So this is something that this person really needs to work on within themselves, and really the best guidance is, if you would, if you're wanting some kind of reconciliation with them, continuing to focus on yourself is the best way to guarantee that this person will kind of sense and gravitate toward that high vibration that you are emanating and maintaining. If this is something where this is someone from the past and this has just been very informative for you, it's just good to know they're still thinking of you. You hold them a special place for them in your heart, and it's good to know that they still hold love for you, but you're just very much focused on the horizon as opposed to things from the past. Then this is guidance also to, again, plan toward those goals. Keep your eye on the prize. Know that you are worthy and deserving of love. And as much as this person was not capable of appreciating that or giving that or meeting you halfway, meeting you at your level, participating in this connection, someone who, again, may have self-sabotaged, pushed this away out of feelings of inadequacy within themselves. This doesn't have to be the end of the road for you in terms of love and romance. That, the more you continue to focus on your own worth, recognize that, believe that, embody that, you will attract a partner who is able to recognize that, who has done that healing work within themselves, who recognizes you for the gift that you are and is able to cherish that, as opposed to somebody who feels very overwhelmed by that or undeserving of it. So I'm going to get a little more guidance for you, group 1. Okay, and we have wisdom. Knowledge is learned, but wisdom is the divine prompting within you. Your angel guidance is to connect to your still, quiet center and listen to the wisdom of your soul. Then you will take decisions and act from your own infinite self. With wisdom, life takes on new perspective as dramas and fears become insignificant in comparison with the magnificence of the overall picture. Walk your path in life as one of the wise ones, and all will revere and respect you. And the affirmation is, I listen to my wisdom. So that's some great closing guidance for you, group 1, as far as really, trying as much as possible to kind of leave the pain of this situation with this person, the circumstances with this person in the past, taking the wisdom, the lessons, the wisdom also and knowledge of self, that you are worthy and deserving of love, that as much as this person was unable to kind of meet you at that level or chose to kind of keep you in this very sacred treasure box within them, but they were very scared to kind of open that, to participate with that on a very deep or full level, or just really didn't have the longevity to participate with this connection in the past, recognizing that their inability to appreciate and see and recognize and participate in your worth and the worthiness and the potential that this love had to offer, it does not diminish the actuality of that worth. Again, you are deserving of healthy and reciprocal love. And whether it is this person in a healed version that meets you further down the road, or another partner, another high vibrational love that will see you, that will recognize you for what you have to offer. And instead of being intimidated or kind of fearful or operating out of sort of that shadowy energy of feeling not worthy and not deserving, and instead of cherishing this, pushes it away, you will find that you are experiencing quite the opposite. Somebody who recognizes the gift that you are and what you have to offer, recognizes the compatibility between the both of you and seeks to foster that, seeks to nurture that, seeks to kind of build that and protect that. Respects and admires this, but at the same time is not putting it on such a high pedestal that they themselves are kind of unwilling to meet you at that level, or they don't necessarily feel themselves worthy. This doesn't have to be the story for you. To take that kind of wisdom, recognizing even the red flags that this person presented, ways in which you may have tried to kind of dim your light to make this person feel more comfortable, or things you may have done to kind of try to prove your worth to this person, or ways in which this even eroded your self-esteem. Looking back on all of that, kind of the pain and the joy of this experience with this person in the past, recognizing that this may have been kind of a first spark of some intense love, but this is definitely not the end of what love awaits you further down the road. And so kind of taking this as sort of a signpost, a beacon, a jumping off point to continue to work on yourself, work on your own healing, on your own ascension, so that you are in a place of kind of not holding on to any sort of feelings of longing, feelings of regret, or even any kind of anger or pain that this situation has kind of left with you. Maybe that has kind of closed you off to love, or closed you off to the idea of love. Maybe you have just really set your sights on this person and you've been in this energy of kind of waiting for them to come back around, and it's taking a lot of time. That the guidance with that is maybe to just, take those glorious experiences as well as the painful experiences with this person, and allow that to help shape you into a more loving person, into a more confident person, a more self-confident person, so that you are kind of operating not so much from that energy of distortion that this connection may have triggered in you, or that had really kind of implanted within you, kind of the residue of that with this person's projections were that you took on yourself these false narratives or belief systems, but kind of rising beyond that, rising up into a space where you are confident in knowing you are healthy, whole, and deserving of reciprocal love. And by kind of maintaining that vibration, you are able to attract the similar into your life. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. Group 1, this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. All right, so we have K, O, A, M, Q, S, T, I, B, L, and R. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you are interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the clear calcite along with these cards. So I'm going to start with these to get some zodiac signs, some clues about who this person is to you, and to get a feel for, are they still thinking of you? So we have the Hierophant, Four of Pentacles, scarcity mindset. Oh, and on the Hierophant, it says here at the bottom, spiritual advisement. The Sun, illumination and growth. Strength, restraint. Five of Wands, conflict and competition. Six of Pentacles, equality. Ego, pride, jealousy, self-preservation. Walls, let your guard down. Compromise, mutual understanding, flexibility. Give and take brings rewards. Romance, revel, flow, savor, entice, open yourself to romance. Surrender, detach, trust, free fall, have faith, all will be well. Breathe. And truth be told. So in terms of signs, with the Hierophant, we have Taurus. With the Pentacles, we have Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The Sun and Strength are both cards for Leo, and Wands energy is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So with the Hierophant, I'm feeling that this is someone you either could have been married to in the past, engaged to, and maybe the engagement fell through, you broke up. This could have been somebody you talked about marriage with in the past, and that this person, even with the Four of Pentacles, might have been kind of closed off to that, got kind of cold feet, maybe even somebody who left you at the altar or broke up with you on your wedding day, or very shortly before when plans had been made, invitations had been sent, even gifts had been received. That's coming through for somebody or maybe a few people. And that it's something where this person could have also been kind of made you feel in conflict within yourself, blaming yourself. They could have projected a lot onto you, as far as maybe some pressure that you were putting on them to make a decision, to maybe pushing them toward engagement, pushing them toward marriage before they were ready. You two could have had some differing ideas as far as love and commitment, a difficult time compromising as well, in terms of your beliefs systems. Maybe one of you is very traditional and the other person didn't really believe in marriage, didn't really believe in partnership of that nature. And so it's something where this could have really, with that, that Five of Wands, conflict and competition and compromise, this could have been something that the two of you, even just in regards to other things other than marriage, you could have really been two strong personalities, kind of clashing with each other, to where it was two people who didn't really want to yield so much. Maybe some control issues were at play here. Somebody who, you could have been dealing with somebody who kind of had a sense of entitlement, or maybe was coddled a lot growing up. Somebody who really had never been told no, was not good with boundaries. Somebody who, kind of was operating out of even an immature energy of having tantrums almost when things weren't going their way. Somebody who had a difficult time even seeing things from other people's perspective, both in this connection and in other areas of their life. And also with that Six of Pentacles, again, kind of reciprocity, or this energy of compromise, this equal give and take, maybe on timelines, maybe on, even if this were things, as far as if you were planning a wedding with this person, if you had gotten married to this person and subsequently gotten divorced, or if the marriage didn't actually end up taking place, it could have been something where they were not really willing to participate with you in that planning stage and that kind of development stage. Somebody who could have been very closed off to that, very disinterested in that. With the truth be told, I'm getting here as well that with this image of the mask here, this could have been somebody that really kind of hid their true feelings, hid that kind of discomfort, let that all sort of boil up beneath the surface, and then kind of burst forth very unexpectedly, the way in which they broke up with you or said that they just weren't ready. They could have kind of put on a very convincing front that they were on board with that. But in some way they had a difficulty with surrendering to that next phase in their life, the next phase in this connection. Pride and ego could definitely have been kind of at play. Somebody who, even at kind of the extreme end of that, was maybe feeling that they weren't ready to settle down because they still wanted to see kind of what the world had to offer, if the grass was greener on the other side. Somebody who could have really been focused, again, with that ego kind of on their own interests, on their own needs, and not really willing to kind of give and take, even in the form of conversations within this connection. And so kind of in the aftermath of that, it's something where this has really kind of forced you within, forced you to kind of go onto this journey of becoming, of kind of reinventing yourself, kind of pushing and emerging through the confusion and the difficulties. With the Sun and Strength, this does feel like something that has really helped, this situation has helped to unearth kind of a deep inner strength, a resilience within yourself. You've refocused on yourself. You've refocused on having some optimism, maybe opening yourself up with romance to love again. To kind of taking a chance on love again with somebody else, but this may be a little bit difficult, this process of surrender, because you've got these kind of memories of what went wrong in the past with this person. So in terms of the question, are they thinking about you? This feels like somebody who is still having a difficult time of really surrendering, admitting fault for what they did with that ego card here. This could be somebody who is kind of in this stuck, resistant energy. So when they are thinking of you, and I feel that this is almost, if you're coming up in a context of conversation, maybe there's, people who kind of bring you up in conversation, or there's things that really come up and remind them. This is somebody who, with the Strength card here and restraint, again, is not, and kind of the look on that lion's face of just being very, very angry, kind of very, very set, very firm in their ways. That this is somebody who, again, is not really recognizing their own fault in this situation at this point in time. This is somebody who's very closed off, not somebody who is willing to admit that they were wrong, somebody who kind of is in need of softening into that watery kind of emotional energy within themselves. This feels like something that they might be getting a lot of kind of signs or triggers, something that is really coming up in their environment. Maybe a lot of people in their world that are settling down, that are getting married, that are taking that next step, and they're getting invited to a lot of weddings, for example, and they're kind of just sitting there almost in the crowd or in the audience with sort of this bitterness, kind of resenting other people's happiness, not at a place of really recognizing that they sabotage that potential within themselves and within this connection. Somebody who's also kind of getting annoyed at the fact that maybe all of this kind of wedding fervor or wedding season, or other people around them that are settling down, that are kind of moving into that next phase in their life. This is somebody who's feeling very left out, very kind of on the outside looking in on these circumstances. Somebody who, their pals or their buddies, their people that they kind of had that single life with, were on the go and just, trying to kind of experience life and sort of this, take in all these new experiences, even in the forms of dating many people, as these other people around them are kind of settling down or partnering up or pairing up. This person is finding themselves very alone, kind of without all those folks that they used to hang out with, that used to be, just interested in a good time. that circle, that crowd is kind of shrinking, it's diminishing. And all of this, these reminders are kind of bringing up these memories of you. So in terms of thought, this doesn't feel like somebody who is kind of retreating to a space within themselves to do some deep contemplation. This feels like somebody who is getting these external reminders. This feels like somebody who's sitting so much in that ego space that they are kind of unwilling to be reflective at this point in time, but something is really being illuminated for them through all of these reminders, all of these like signs and synchronicities, or even direct circumstances in their world that is kind of forcing them to go within, to be very honest with themselves, to open up that heart space, to recognize kind of the pain and the disappointment and confusion that they may have caused by not being forthcoming with sort of their comfort level, not being very forthcoming about their true intentions from the start of the relationship. Somebody who also may have been, again, just kind of very coddled growing up, or somebody who was very just kind of operating out of a selfish energy or self-centered energy, unwilling to compromise, unwilling to see things from others' perspective, kind of oblivious to what that was kind of doing to others. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, yeah, this sounds like a narcissist. Everybody to some degree at different points in their life operates out of that energy. And so while there do exist people that are very fundamentally narcissistic, there are also people who can just be kind of vibrating at that frequency for periods of time. Not everyone who displays narcissistic tendencies is kind of beyond redemption. That at a certain point in time, kind of in this circumstance, there is this kind of push, this kind of gentle nudging, this tap on the shoulder from spirit through kind of outside circumstances, things that are tangible, things that can't just be denied or turned away from. That is an invitation for people that are, operating out of that shade, out of that distortion, to really go within and do some healing within themselves. And so there, through free will, there's the ability to answer that call, to recognize those signs, to do what's necessary, to surrender to that process. For other people, it takes then a more dramatic event of some kind of divine intervention, some kind of loss, a period in time where they find themselves completely on the outside of joy that others around them are experiencing, that's mirrored to them as a potential, but that's out of reach. And so this feels like somebody who's not full-blown narcissist, but is definitely operating strongly from that ego, not from that emotional space. Somebody who needs balance. They need some equality within themselves. They need to surrender to that kind of emotional stage, that emotional step. And so this feels like somebody who is kind of operating in this energy of resistance, being very combative, being very, again, resistance to that surrender. Somebody who might also be kind of embodying that energy as far as the romance with sort of love stinks. It's not for them. Somebody who could be kind of self-pitying and, again, not really able to recognize and understand how sort of their resistance, even aspects of their personality, this kind of competitiveness, this kind of this need to always sort of have things their way, how this had really self-sabotaged the connection in the past. So again, not somebody who is beyond redemption, but somebody who is just in a phase of things being illuminated for them. This could also be somebody who is starting, there are other people in their life who are starting to clue them in, give them some kind of a wake-up call, chip away at that ego, really encouraging this person to kind of take some ownership, to take some personal stock in kind of where they are in their life. If this is somebody who is really complaining and kind of operating in a woe is me, and just being very negative and pessimistic, that others around them could be kind of cluing them in, distancing them from this person, and that they're really just having a hard time connecting with others. So there are thoughts of you, but this doesn't seem to be the energy of nostalgia. It almost still seems to be very much very attached to whatever their stance was previously in this connection. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you, group 2. What do they want to say? Okay, and they say you accepted me for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I couldn't do the same. So that's that energy of kind of the ego and the issue of reciprocity that may have been a wedge between you in the past. Somebody who very much wanted things their way, unwilling to compromise. And so definitely something that they are needing to work on. Maybe there are other circumstances that are really encouraging them to do this, or are kind of forcing that. It's forcing the breakdown of that ego and sort of that encouraging that melding of the higher self and the ego self. And they also say, I wish you could understand that this was a difficult decision for me. In fact, I still struggle with it. So as much as they're operating in this energy of resistance and kind of bitterness at this point in time, somewhere deep inside them, there's a lot of kind of a feeling of connectedness that they had with you, a sense of potential there that could have been very triggering for this person. Kind of that idea of having to surrender that autonomy of ego, of the self, to meld into sort of entering into partnership, into unity, into becoming, instead of just going from the energy of me and I, to move into, having to consider us and sort of the unit, the relationship, the pair, the couple. And so it's something to where, that resistance, holding on to that ego, it's something which, change is definitely afoot for this person from their higher self. Their spirit team, the universe, is really trying to shake this person awake. They're having a lot of difficulties, a lot of triggers about this still. It's something that is coming up for them, perhaps even frequently, that as much as they may have tried to stuff that down, just kind of look away, kind of close their eyes to it, with this imagery, and she's sitting there with her, her eyes closed, kind of in contemplation, and this just feels like, just kind of trying to block that out, trying to kind of force an obliviousness, a feigned ignorance to kind of the role that they had in this circumstance and sort of what that has led to in their own life. This feels like somebody who is not really satisfied with that. They're not really in a good place in their life. They may be kind of putting on this facade, presenting this mask of being very happy with that decision, being very happy with the self-focused life. But it's something that in that kind of internal world, there's something starting to shake, starting to germinate. Those triggers within are starting to awaken some kind of seed out of this capsule or this shell within them. There's a new version, a softer version, a more balanced version of this person that lives within them and wants desperately to come out, to kind of overcome this very ego-based, very kind of self-revolving mindset or sort of viewpoint that this person has operated out of for quite some time. But it's definitely a struggle. As much as you may have struggled with this person, there's also a deep inner struggle going on within them. And they also say, if I could turn back time, I would do it all differently. So this is really kind of a deep hidden secret from the higher self kind of thought here, that they're very ego-based, but from the higher self level, they're understanding that this relationship really, it had the potential to grow them in a very positive manner. This is a relationship that really had the potential to bring a lot of peace to this person. This feels like somebody who's very conflicted within themselves in general, somebody who clings very much to the material world, and there's a spiritual aspect to this person, a spiritual component that is struggling to get out, that needs to be addressed. Their spiritual self needing to take more of the forefront in their life than it has previously. So this could be somebody who's also resisting a spiritual awakening. And so kind of that divine intervention through these ever-increasing triggers and nudges, it's still giving them that window of opportunity for free will. But this feels like somebody who could at some point in time almost be kind of forcibly awoken from that delusion, from that kind of daydream, that very self-focused reality, that circumstances in their outside world, something within themselves just kind of jolts awake. And this could be somebody who, has a very abrupt awakening, a very harsh kind of humbling of themselves, kind of this forced surrender, forced to their knees, maybe through circumstances in life, or through that, even that energy of somebody who, kind of the people they were palling around with are moving off in their own life, are moving off in the direction of romance, of settling down, and this person becoming ever increasingly lonely, not having others who resonate with that vibration of staying unattached and, just kind of playing the field, sowing the oats, experiencing everything, life has to offer, tasting all the flavors. That might have been something that was a very realistic thing for them and their social group, but maybe as people are getting older than that kind of lifestyle is sort of losing its appeal, and others are kind of moving in a different direction, and this person feels almost like the last one holding out, like the last one in the club, that one who just doesn't want to kind of go home, doesn't want to move on to something else. There's this resistance here to that change and that evolution. So I'm going to get a few more messages for you from this person's higher self, group 2. Okay, and they say we learn from our karma. Past mistakes become our greatest teacher. So again, this person kind of on this forced humbling. They could maybe be experiencing some karma in the near future, in terms of like teaching, in terms of lessons, not necessarily punishment for what it is that they have done, but just almost that energy, that vibration that they have put out, that it comes back around to them, kind of pushing people away, pushing love away, pushing intimacy away, resulting in they themselves being pushed away, being kind of isolated, segregated from those who they once resonated with or who once kind of shared a belief system. So this person kind of being forced to go within, kind of on this precipice that they're resisting and can most likely sense within themselves and through their external circumstances, through these very ego-based 3D material world things that are happening around them, that this is a process of change. And as much as they may want to resist that and try to resist that, it's inevitable, it feels like. That this person is due to kind of introspect, part and parcel with that. Not only, this feels like somebody who really needs to do some evaluation in their life in general, their relationships, their dynamics, their kind of perception of the world. Not that the world is there to serve them, but that it's an act of co-creation with others and with the environment and the world around us, with divine, with spirit, with our higher self, kind of that co-creation of the higher self and the ego mind in order to kind of achieve our goals, find those goals, identify them, and make a plan forward to them. And so this feels like somebody who is in this process of learning that, kind of learning sort of about the law of attraction and how what they put out really does manifest. It comes back, and sort of this energy of wanting to put out that they just wanted to be alone, they just wanted to be single, and that's what is happening. They are finding themselves very much alone. So somebody who's kind of on the brink of doing that inventory, doing that reflection, seeing how they kind of took this love for granted. They may have taken you for granted, or even kind of led you on to some degree, to some extent, and that all of this is kind of in this process again of really humbling this person, of really teaching this person, directing this person to some wounds within themselves that need to be healed so that they can enjoy some better experiences for themselves going forward, and perhaps even provide some closure for some of you, even a chance of reconciliation in the future. Although this feels very much like, if anything, this would be kind of an apology owed, some closure, although it feels like you very much have moved on in your own life in a lot of ways, and might not necessarily be very open to the idea of this person kind of returning to your life. And we also have trust in the universe, believe in the divine plan. So again, this is really talking about this divine intervention. This person starting to kind of recognize at the soul level that's sort of trickling down to this 3D mind, this ego mind, that the connection with you has been very significant. Kind of what's been needling them, what's been triggering them is actually really pointing the way to some wounds within them that are in need of some healing, being addressed, being kind of reconciled within themselves. And we also have karmic lessons. I am very weak. How do I heal To move forward again, I must feel this pain. So again, that energy of karma and kind of being forced within. A lot of things being triggered for this person, a lot of memories, thoughts of you coming up, and the circumstances with you and kind of their conduct in that. Somebody who feels kind of a deep shame and regret, but is trying to push that away, is resisting those kind of heavy and dense feelings, and instead is maybe just still operating in the energy of projection, still trying to just hold on so desperately to that idea of they're very much okay with where they are, things are great, it was the right decision, that it was good to do what they did in the past, but that kind of it's seeping, this reality, this realization is kind of seeping up from within them, that this wasn't the best conduct, they didn't treat you in the best way, they weren't very forthcoming, that maybe kind of the abrupt manner, the harsh manner, the cruel manner in which they sort of almost discarded you, or sort of flung this connection away, or closed the door to this, that it's something that needs to be balanced energetically between the both of you. And it also really speaks to some kind of a deep wound within themselves that needs to be balanced out as well. So a lot of karma, a lot of tower moments could be coming for this person, and just a lot of the energy that they put out really returning to them in various ways, kind of just in a very general archetypal sense. Again, the sense of this person putting out this intention of, I just want to be alone, and then they're finding themselves very much now alone, in terms of not just deep romantic connections and partnerships, but also in terms of friends or people that were once like-minded, those people evolving, those people moving off in other directions, not really having people who will, go out and live the single life with them, not really having people that are going to kind of talk down about relationships or partnerships, but people who those priorities are changing, those priorities are shifting, those people are settling down, they're having, they're getting into marriages, they're getting into partnerships, they're having children, those priorities are changing, those activities are changing. And so it's somebody who is kind of this forced hermit period of really things and distractions disappearing from their life in a myriad of ways, to kind of force that journey within, to really breathe, to really find that source of the pain, the root of that had really caused this behavior, this projection of these distortions from without. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now, Group 2, about this situation. Okay, we have renew and adventure. A return of passions and play. Community is healing. Laughter, travel, and new things can re-spark love in your life. So this is really just encouragement. That energy was kind of coming up about you maybe having moved in another direction with the sun and really moving towards your own sort of healing, but maybe having some kind of residual sort of fears or hesitations based on what you've been through with this person that is kind of causing you to not really open up fully to the potential of love, maybe some trust issues that are going on with you that based on what I'm feeling energetically about this is very understandable. And all your situations will be specific, but just energetically this feels very drastic and very much like an energy of the rug being pulled out from under you by this person. So that would naturally, have some residue, have some wounds that you're carrying around that would take some time to heal. It'd be perfectly understandable to be a little bit hesitant to just kind of step back out there, to put yourself back out there again, after everything that it's taken to really heal and repair yourself and move beyond this. And so this is something where you're just really being guided to, like with the sun, just focus on joy. Not really so much dwell on what has happened with this person in the past, understanding that the energy they have put out, what they have put you through, what they have kind of generated within you, that this is definitely coming back around to this person. It's something that they may or may not, have this epiphany, this realization. They may or may not come forward with an apology or with changed behavior, but it's definitely something where they're not just kind of off into the sunset and nothing happens as a result of this. This is definitely something not in terms of like a vengeful, oh, they're going to get their karma, but just in terms of what they have put out is now coming back to them. They are starting to be forced to walk in your shoes. This person is really being forcibly humbled and being made to appreciate and understand that it's very important thoughts and integrity, and the energy that we put out is very important for the kinds of experiences and the kinds of people and the energy that we are then stepping into, that our actions in the present definitely do birth our future. And so this is something where, you know, some time may have passed. This person could kind of present this front, even on social media, of things being great, things being fine, but under the surface, there's a lot going on. There's a lot that's needling this person. And so your job is not to sit there and kind of wait for them to get their just desserts, but to really release this, understand this person is really operating out of a place of pain and distortion. This is their own kind of private journey with spirit, with source, with their higher self, to come to these realizations or to make that choice not to continue to operate in resistance and kind of take the bumpy road through life. But this is something where you're being guided to, again, focus on that healing, focus on that possibility, trusting as well that kind of the lessons that you have learned from this, the ways in which this experience has made you stronger, has made you wiser, has kind of increased that discernment, has caused you to maybe pause before just rushing into love as you may have done in the past. That all of this has really armed you to a place where it may be difficult to come to that realization, but you can trust your intuition, that what you've experienced with this person has been a very extreme lesson for you. It's been a teaching process for you, but that this is something like here with the karma card, where it says mistakes become our greatest teacher. You're really guided to look at that, to kind of release this person with love, to forgive them as best as you can within yourself, for yourself, so that you can kind of let some of this baggage go, let the universe kind of, and this person's higher self, sort them out in their own kind of way and in their own time. And the most important thing is that you focus with hope on your future. You are deserving and worthy of a loving and reciprocal romance. And as devastating as this might have been, this doesn't need to be kind of a repeating narrative for you. So anything that you're still really holding on to that's lingering, you're guided to really nurture yourself, to focus on self-love, focus on the things that bring you joy, surround yourself with people who appreciate you, who are honest with you, who what you see is what you get, people who you know have your best interest in mind. And by doing that, by really surrounding yourself with that, you become a magnet for kind of a similar vibration in the form of others. There is romance for you, there is love for you on the horizon. For some of you, it could be in the form of this person having gone through some awakening, some epiphany, some drastic change within themselves. That's a very real possibility if that's something you're interested in further down the road. But this is a journey, again, that person needs to kind of take on their own, to sort of work through those shadows, kind of reconciling the higher and lower natures within themselves. But this is something where, you know, for a lot of you, I feel that you're not really going to be interested in that. That's not really a possibility for you based on everything that has happened with this person in the past, and just even the ways in which you've grown, that, you know, you may have kind of grown beyond this person. You know, or have grown beyond a desire to even kind of entertain an energy that's a work in progress, that's operating out of such a preponderance of distortion. And so really just, again, focusing on that healing within yourself can magnetize you to a partner, to a romance in the future that is able to kind of meet you at your level. Not everyone you encounter will be operating out of an energy of distortion, and the more you seek to raise your own vibration, the more you kind of deflect and are able to really trust that intuition, see those red flags, identify those kind of trends and traits from maybe even a type of partner that you may have had in the past, a series of relationships that all kind of had these same themes within them. And as you strengthen that discernment and learn to trust that instinct, trust that intuition, and to understand that you know, out there somewhere on that horizon is that person for you, not settling for second best, not settling for less than what you want, or kind of turning away from red flags, or, you know, things that don't really feel comfortable for you, that don't really, you know, fit into your needs and expectations, that make you feel like you're wanting too much, you're demanding too much, or that you are in some way an unreasonable or a difficult person to love. When you kind of move beyond these things, you're able to navigate more easily that kind of journey to the soul that is meant to resonate with you, that can see you and appreciate you and meet you at that very healthy and balanced level. So I'm going to get a little more guidance for you, group 2, about this situation. Okay, and we have discernment. Discernment means sensing what feels right or wrong, trusting your judgment and acting on it. Your angel guidance is to look at the people and situations in your life now and respond to your gut feeling. Learn to develop your intuition and ask the angels to help you discern the good from the bad. They will prompt and guide you. You will feel safer, happier, stronger, and clearer. Angel wisdom reminds you that when you can be trusted to use discernment, you can serve the universe in a great way. And the affirmation is, I trust my intuition. So that's a great confirmation of what I was just saying about, this discernment that this situation, this relationship has really armed you with. You've really grown through this, as much as it might be difficult to see, or it might be something that, there's still a lot of bitterness or a lot of pain associated with that. To not allow this situation and this person to limit you, or your capacity to love yourself, or your idea of what love and romance can feel like, but utilizing this as kind of the opportunity to see that you have experienced one extreme of distortion, and recognizing that it is your birthright to experience the polar opposite of that, something that is a higher vibration, something that is more healthy, more whole, more healed, that love doesn't always have to feel and be experienced in the way that this situation, or maybe even a series of partners with these same kind of archetypal themes associated with them, have been for you. The past does not dictate the future. Armed with that discernment, allowing yourself to kind of grow through these, grow into a wiser, stronger, more self-assured, more self-loving being, can help you navigate away from a path of romance that you may have been on previously, in order to kind of take a new route, a new road, to magnetize in experiences and people that are able to see you and love you and reciprocate that love in a healthy and productive manner. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. Group 2, this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. All right, so we have T, O, F, Z, Y, C, I, L, M, E, and D. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Citrine along with these cards. So I'll start with these to get some zodiac signs, kind of a feel of who this person is to you, and also to answer the question, are they still thinking of you? So we have 9 of Swords, self-sabotage and nightmares. The Star, universal alignment. 3 of Cups, celebration and community. 4 of Swords, healing and recovery. The Chariot, charging ahead. Death, transition. Destruction, Tower moment, unexpected change, new opportunities. Family, kids, opinions, judgment, resolve family stress, get support. Self-worth, values, self-esteem, confidence, be empowered by valuing yourself. Twin flames, eternal love, reincarnation, passion, twin seeking union. Serendipity, and chop wood. So to start with, in terms of signs, with the Swords, we have air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The Star is Aquarius. Cups is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The Chariot is Cancer, and Death is Scorpio. I'm also going to say on this destruction card how it says Tower moment. That can be the Tower, Aries energy. And also here on this family card with the reference to Judgment, that can be Scorpio energy. So obviously, first and foremost, with the Twin Flames card, this can be somebody you resonate with as your twin flame or soulmate. This is somebody who definitely, it feels like someone that you are not expecting to hear from ever again. With the Death card, that whatever ending happened, it was very finite between the both of you. This could have been somebody who declared that they didn't have feelings for you. They, felt nothing. They weren't interested in having a relationship with you. This could have been something with the self-worth that really did a number on your self-esteem as well. Really called in you, or caused you to call into question your own intuition. Maybe signs that you'd been getting about this person, being your twin flame, or even just energetically really feeling this draw and this magnetism to this person, and you took a chance. You expressed your love. You told them how you felt, what you meant to them, and were probably faced with some kind of very harsh rejection from which it seemed that there was no coming back from. That had kind of pivoted your life with the Chariot here in an entirely new direction. Maybe kind of propelled you with the Tower and the Star into this kind of dark night of the soul within yourself. Really propelled you on this journey of self-love as well, with the self-worth card. And through that, with the Star, you've kind of come out of this. You've found this hope, this clarity, something renewed, maybe coming into alignment with your life's purpose as well. Starting to recognize as well with the Serendipity card, starting to kind of look back and be grateful for the rejection from this person, almost the sense of rejection being divine protection, or in some way that this person's rejection forced you within, forced you to peel back the layers within yourself, maybe some abandonment wounds within yourself. With the chop wood, you've come to this place of really maybe letting go of the idea of this person as your twin flame, letting go of the idea of 3D union in this lifetime, or really having to kind of address some, again, wounds within yourself. Abandonment wound is coming up very strongly, feelings of unworthiness that this person could have really triggered within you, that could have also been kind of residing in those shadowy caverns of self that maybe had demonstrated themselves in the form of other relationships where you kind of watered yourself down to be liked by others, maybe some some people-pleasing tendencies, some codependency, seeking outside yourself for fulfillment and validation, for example, instead of really attaining that from within or cultivating that from within. That you've come to the point in this journey where you have recognized that this person's actions, as painful as they may have been, that rejection that occurred, that it's actually been a blessing, it's been a gift. You've been able to release a version of yourself, release some narratives about yourself. You've been able to step into a whole new life with this chopped wood here, and it's really opened the door, it's cleared the path to aligning with your life's purpose, to a new path, to a new way of living in general, a new version of self, a new idea of what love is, what you're looking for in love, and also kind of a reconceptualization of the point and purpose of this person in your reality. Not so much focusing on that 3D union, but recognizing perhaps even kind of the eternal union of your souls in the higher dimensions, recognizing that you are both on your own kind of individual and parallel journeys of kind of coming back to self, coming back home to that wholeness within. With the family card, you could really resonate with this person as kind of a member of your soul tribe. You could also really resonate as a star seed as well. In terms of what this person is are they thinking about you? Definitely. I feel also with the kind of this imagery here on this family card with these elephants, and I'm kind of reminded of that saying that elephants don't forget, that this person is reminded of what occurred in the past. Between you with this Nine of Swords, they could be having a lot of regret, a lot of nightmares. This card also says self-sabotage. So kind of in the aftermath of that, of what when they kind of rejected you may have even just been kind of spurred, this kind of instinct because of the intensity of this connection, this desire to kind of push this away, stick with what was known and familiar to them, kind of a resistance to the evolution which wanted to take place, kind of sparked and triggered by this connection, that this person can really be thinking back on that with a sense of regret. And before I continue, I apologize if there's a lot of noise in the background. My neighbor's lawn care crew is now just on the other side of my window behind me. So hopefully they will be quick and I will continue to channel and do this reading. So again, I apologize if it gets kind of loud with the blowers and the mowers. But anyway, that actually can be very actually fitting to what is kind of this energy here of kind of this person also really sort of reconceptualizing their idea of you, their idea of love and romance, kind of cutting away from old ideas of self, this desire to also with that chopped wood to kind of move the energy of the connection between you in a different direction, to kind of blow the dust off this connection. With the death card here, this is energy also of renewal, of rebirth, somebody who really desires to kind of shift the circumstances between the both of you, somebody who is definitely thinking about you, thinking about kind of the sabotage that occurred, the destruction that occurred, that as much as you may have been kind of propelled into this spiritual awakening in some way, shape, or form, this person has also gone through some tower moments, some kind of shift and change within themselves. With the Four of Swords, they could definitely be kind of withdrawn from others in their life, really just taking some time to be on that healing journey. This interest that they have also with that energy of healing, and then the renewal of the death card, to kind of rebirth something in this connection, that the evolution that has taken place within them is kind of fueling this desire within them to kind of meet up with you again, sort of with a cleansing of their perception of reality, of the nature of love, of some fears that they had been harboring inside that had caused them to kind of push this connection away. With that is this desire, with this new awareness, with this newfound even self-worth that they have, maybe some feelings of not feeling worthy of love, or even some kind of residual baggage that they'd been carrying around in the past from relationships that had gone kind of sour, that some healing work that this person has done to kind of recapture and reassemble those kind of lost pieces of themselves. A journey that I feel you both are very much in tandem, kind of in a parallel sense, really doing, that it has kind of renewed thoughts of you, or they're seeing things from a new perspective. With the Chariot, there's this desire to take some kind of action or movement towards you. This person could also really be familiar with the law of attraction, and they are trying to manifest a new opportunity with you with the serendipity there, kind of understanding that at just the right time and the right circumstances, there's this belief within them that they will see you again, that your paths will cross. They may be recognizing kind of this past life relationship between the both of you as well, sort of seeing beyond the 3D circumstances between the both of you, and really setting that intention for them to have this opportunity to really meet you at a level they weren't capable of before. Some kind of evolution and ascension having taken place. Also with the star, again, kind of that feeling, you may resonate as star seeds, but this can also really talk about kind of this idea of this widening horizon, wanting to journey beyond kind of the 3D limitations of what has occurred with you in the past, to experience those kind of higher echelons, that higher realm of the love that is possible between the both of you. With this green here in the Serendipity card, somebody who may have also gone through some kind of heart chakra activation is definitely, may have had a blocked heart chakra even in the past, but this imagery of kind of the elevation of that, that they're looking at love in a new way, they're appreciating love in a new way, they are cognizant of the higher level love, the energetic connection between the both of you, and there's this desire to, again, kind of transcend those limits of what you had experienced in the past. So this definitely feels like somebody who is thinking of you in the 3D sense. They also are most likely connecting with you very intensely, perhaps through dreams, even energetically. They're recognizing you with this Three of Cups as part of their soul tribe, that family card, part of that soul family. And there's this desire for this reunion, kind of armed with this knowledge of self. They are able to see you through a new lens with fresh eyes. And there's this desire to kind of come back together. Where they may have been kind of repelled by the sameness that you mirrored to this person, both in terms of attributes and wounds, that there's now this desire to kind of work with that, seeing you as somebody who really balances them out, seeing you as somebody who can be this kind of portal for them as well to sort of a deeper healing, a deeper understanding of self, through the very healing experience of love. It feels that the both of you have learned a lot of lessons through the pain of this connection, but that this is somebody who really has this desire to focus on kind of rebuilding and reuniting for the purposes of healing and growth, building upon this, exploring aspects and dimensions of the connection that they may have been closed off to before, or even denied in the past. So even here with this twin flames, twin seeking union, somebody who, again, desires this reconciliation, this renewal with you, somebody who is strategizing, or I feel for a lot of you, this is somebody who's really putting that intention out there, really making that truth known. Somebody who has also really come to this understanding that the first step is to become that love they are seeking. And so somebody who is deeply entrenched in that journey of becoming, that journey of understanding of self, stepping into that best version of self, aligning with their soul's purpose, and almost this inner knowing and confidence that this person has as well, that as much as they are living that truth, living that authenticity, that vibration, and seeking to know themselves, seeking to continue that healing journey, peeling back the layers within themselves as they emerge, things they need to visit and then revisit time and again, kind of tracing their tracks back and forth across kind of that fabric of the wounds that have been implanted within them, and also that they've carried from other lifetimes. There's this knowledge within this person that as much as they focus on self, they focus on that self-worth, on that valuing of self, that self-love, embodying that, that's a vibration that is necessary to harmonize the two of you, to magnetize the two of you back together. So somebody who feels very much that they are actively trying to cultivate and operate in that space of trust, that your paths will cross again. And also somebody who's very much taking the work of evolution within themselves seriously, so that they are at a place of being prepared to meet you at a different level with a lot more authenticity, some eagerness to kind of work together in this connection, where in the past it could have been kind of overwhelming and triggered a lot for them, that caused them to kind of run or deny feelings for you. So I'm going to get some messages from this person's higher self for you now, group 3. Okay, and they say I should have listened to my intuition. So right there, even if they, denied having feelings for you, kind of push this connection away, this is them from the higher self really admitting to that was kind of a fabrication, it was a farce, it was a defense mechanism, that this is something where they have always felt an intense bond to you, a draw to you. And it's something which they may have fought those feelings for some time, but they are now in this place of surrender, of understanding, of kind of viewing you in the connection with fresh eyes. And they also say you would just not understand what I'm going through most days. I don't even understand. So this is definitely the energy of somebody who's on that awakening journey, on that ascension journey, navigating kind of that dark night of the soul, seeking to find hope or to become that light in even their darkest moments, their darkest hours. Very much the energy of a parallel path, a parallel journey that the two of you are walking, that very private and individual journey of seeking within to know self, in order to kind of step into that authenticity, revisiting parts of oneself that had been denied or suppressed, maybe even for your whole life, things that are really activated even from past lives, things that we have carried on that have kind of formed that fabric of the personality, or even some kind of unconscious or what one might call irrational fears. This person really just looking at and assessing all facets of themselves, coming into contact with a lot of spiritual information, a lot of esoteric information, even psychological information, shamanic journeying might be something that this person is really achieving a lot of success with in terms of that healing and recovery, those kind of that recovery of the soul fragments of themselves, and a lot of this being outside of the realm of what would be even able to be articulated, things that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to them, but they're experiencing results with it. Somebody who's very much trusting that intuition now, going with the flow, being drawn to modalities to heal things, new perspectives, seeing things from all different perspectives, finding a perspective only to have that shift and shift again in all kinds of different ways. So somebody's very much in this fluid process, in this dynamic process of healing currently. And they also say, I struggle with love and expressing it. It just does not come easy for me. So somebody who may have been carrying around some either past life wounds or wounds and baggage from this lifetime, heartbreaks of the past that cause them to kind of close off that heart chakra, kind of not being open to love, and especially to the intensity of love that was really sparked by this connection in the past. So while they may have been very drawn and allured by you, it really brought up some triggers, some nightmares, kind of this fear, repeating patterns or repeating circumstances of the past. And so from their higher self, they're letting you know that they're really working on this, stepping into that heart space, trusting that intuition, learning to trust again with the chop wood, learning to kind of leave the past behind, take the lessons and leave the pain. So I'm going to get a few more messages for you, group 3. Okay, and they say, I heard our song, memories of you poured over me. So you could be getting a lot of songs that seem to come from this person's higher self, or finding messages in song lyrics. And this is something that it's, again, this group has a lot of that sense of kind of these parallel paths. That as much as you're getting these signs and these kind of inclinations, these symbols, these synchronicities, this person is experiencing that as well. Definitely somebody who could also be kind of listening to some binaural beats, maybe even things to kind of activate and heal the heart chakra, just different modalities. Somebody who could also be musically inclined, and so that is operating as a kind of a therapy for them. Either somebody who is kind of processing some of these experiences, or kind of working through some of those wounds in the form of maybe songwriting, or even just playing an instrument to just sort of undergo that catharsis kind of energetically, vibrationally. This can also be somebody who is gravitating toward particular genres of music as a way to kind of purge and express things that are just kind of felt within but are difficult to put to words. And they also say, my darling, don't cry, I still love you. So despite any kind of separation from this person, any kind of rejection that has happened, this feels like somebody who has always and continues to hold a lot of love for you inside, despite what they may have said or done in the past. And they also say, let's manifest love. Thoughts are manifesting. So that was coming through with somebody really implementing law of attraction, seeking to become the love which they want to receive. Somebody who is really setting that intention to cross paths with you again for a way to be shown, kind of doing this healing work for themselves, but in the back of their mind, and as part of that motivation is also to really step into that level. Now that they've come to this awareness, they're, very much no longer operating in an energy of denial, but of acceptance of the deep and special bond between the both of you. That for a lot of you, this is somebody who wants to manifest that 3D union with you, wants to manifest that energy of reunion, wants to become that best version of self, to really step into that healed and healthy version of self, so that when your paths cross, you're both optimized to experience better results and longevity in this connection that may have been very much lacking before. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now about this situation, group 3. Okay, and we have reflect. We attract soulmates based on the lessons we need for growth. Is this hindering or supporting you? So that was definitely coming through in terms of things that were triggered by this person within you, maybe some abandonment wounds, that all of this kind of seeing this connection and kind of the purpose of this with fresh eyes, that what might have seemed very destructive in the past has in fact been kind of the doorway to your own personal growth. And this also confirms, it says soulmate, this could apply to twin flame as well, another confirmation there, that that's this person's, title or their role or their relationship to you, that the two of you are very much mirrors of each other, both of the best qualities. So the things that you really admire about this person, that you really cherish about this person, those same qualities reside within you. The potential for these things, to cultivate these things, to build upon these things, it's within you as well. And similarly, the energy of shadow and distortion, that this is also something within you that is being projected or really being shown as something to work on, kind of a first clue, a doorway into kind of those deeper layers of the subterranean aspects of self, where a lot is kind of stuffed down or repressed or has been brought over from other lifetimes. And in kind of a state of awakening of kind of this expanded perception, we are able to then perceive and conceptualize and do that healing on the parts of ourself that we just sort of unconsciously carry around throughout our lives and throughout lifetimes. And so even just kind of the ways in which this person may have denied feelings for you in the past, that can really call into question what are some ways within you that you have denied your truth in various aspects, that you have maybe engaged in the energy of people pleasing or codependency, not standing in that authenticity out of kind of fear of repercussion or kind of fearing the intensity, fearing the unknown. What are some of the ways that you've stayed within your comfort zone rather than taking a risk to break trail from tradition, from family, from the life that you'd even been working to up to that point, when some kind of an epiphany or an awareness of an alternate route presented itself, and maybe you've thought, well, I've invested all this time in a particular path of study, I've invested all this time in a particular career, or even a relationship, and kind of the ways in which maybe you had not chosen to take those detours, those exit routes, chosen to take that other path out of a fear or a sense of obligation to something that was already established. So just any number of things that can come up. This is definitely guidance and kind of an advice, a confirmation here that the two of you are very much mirroring each other, that as much as you are focusing on your own growth and evolution, this person is also focusing on their own growth and evolution. And the work that you do within yourself, it helps to sustain and support and encourage this person energetically to do that same kind of inventory, that same kind of cleanup within themselves, and vice versa. The changes and shifts, even the kind of the shadowy aspects that this person is wading through, you're able to perceive that, to pick up on that energetically. So it's very important to be able to, just take a step back, to breathe, instead of jumping to the conclusion that there's something awry or something amiss with you. Really seeking to identify, are these feelings coming from you? Is this from something within you that needs to be addressed, something external to you that is, triggering or instigating these things? Or sometimes these things come out of nowhere, and that can almost be a sign that you're picking up energetically on these sensations from this person that you are so enmeshed with. You're so entwined with each other's energy. And so in those moments, that can be very helpful to kind of send love their way if they're encountering some difficulties. Vice versa, if you're picking up on kind of this rush of love, this influx of love emanating from them, to receive that with gratitude and return that in kind can really help to reinforce the energetic bond between the both of you, and to really just affirm that and honor that for what it is, for how that exists between you. So I'm going to get a little more guidance for you, group 3, about this situation. Okay, we have celebration. It is time for you to look for the joy, the delight, and the wonder of every day and rejoice in it. When we celebrate the passing events and transitions of life, it is our way of giving thanks, and the angels delight with us. Whenever possible, celebrate with others, for then great energy is raised, which attracts many angels, drawn by the laughter and lightness to add their blessings. It will bond you happily with others. Angel wisdom reminds you to celebrate and honor all things, large or small, in your life. Find something to celebrate now. And the affirmation is, my life is a celebration. So that's a beautiful closing kind of bit of guidance for you, group 3, and really ties in with that 3 of Cups, that energy of celebration, and kind of this indication that, a beautiful new chapter seems to be on the horizon for you and this person, both internally, in your own individual kind of journey, and also in terms of how you are receiving and understanding and kind of interacting with this bond between the both of you. This really ties in as well that this person is thinking very positively about you. They're starting to really appreciate this. They're starting to kind of move into the state of being able to maintain and kind of lean into the intensity of this connection, where it may have been very overwhelming. This person feels that they have grown out of their comfort zone in a lot of ways. You're also encouraged to, again, if you're kind of picking up on some heavy energies within this person, or even through some own shadow work that you are doing, it's very important on the ascension journey that we maintain balance. It doesn't always have to be this intense dig, deeply within, this deep dive and dealing with all of these kind of sticky and nasty little bits within ourself that we, have experienced in this lifetime, or even things that have come from other lifetimes, that, we must balance that out with periods of joy and of celebration, taking the time to nurture ourselves, taking the time to applaud ourselves for how far we've come, taking the time to really celebrate who we were in the past, recognizing, the tools in which we were operating with, applauding ourselves for the very courageous and challenging work it has taken to kind of undergo that sort of path of destruction and death in order to really rebirth ourselves, become that phoenix from the ashes. Definitely the ascension journey, the spiritual awakening, a journey of rebirth. It's a very painful and a very chaotic process. There are periods and plateaus of great joy and accomplishment, but a lot of that work it's so exhausting and so confusing. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's not something that is for everybody. It's things that it's something to where people can definitely reach kind of that breaking point, perhaps literally or just figuratively, where they just kind of want to shut that off. It's just really not for them. And then there are others that kind of that process of metamorphosis, that understanding that it's a constant process of becoming, that there is no end point. There is no goal. It's just the goal is to constantly change and shift according to how our life experiences shape us, how the world around us shifts and change, and energetically we must shift and change as well in order to kind of flow with that, to flow with those currents. And so it's something you're really being guided to, again, celebrate yourself for the bravery of answering that call of your soul, of choosing to continue to seek the best, to find the best, to become the best self despite what you've been through. The ways in which you've sought to really forgive others, to forgive yourself, to grow beyond experiences that, you know, were meant to really collapse you and destroy you and ruin you, in the ways in which you have sort of rebirthed yourself out of your own ruin. That all of this, it's cause for celebration. It's something which you know, you're definitely admired from the higher realms. There are others in the world around you, lives that you touch, that you inspire, even that you don't even see, you're not even aware of. It's not even at a conscious level. It's just as you heal and raise your own vibration, and even the very kind of mundane interactions that you have with others, that spark, that energy, that vibration is very infectious. So you're helping to heal and contribute to the raising of the vibration of kind of the world around you, which then has the potential to ripple out to kind of the world at large, kind of the ever-growing kind of stream of ripples, and kind of touching one life and then how many lives they touch, on, etc. So this is a cause of celebration. As much as this may have been a difficult journey, it's a journey that, you know, you were called upon for a reason. It's something which you've answered that call. As difficult as things may seem, you have what it takes to withstand these challenges, even if at times that is just kind of remaining still beneath the weight of them, kind of waiting for things to lighten up, to ease up, for opportunities, windows of opportunity, potential for change to reveal itself, and then the courage it takes to make those changes within yourself, within your environment, within the relationships you are entertaining, within kind of the truth that you're speaking, the path which you are walking. So all of this it's very positive, very encouraging, and you're being encouraged to, again, continue to participate in this journey for yourself first and foremost, and to understand that these milestones that you are reaching, this person feels like somebody who also in their own right is reaching these milestones, and kind of gradually, step by step, your paths where they may have diverged, or kind of in this process of realigning, so that when you do interact with each other further down the road at some point, it will be as two very different and evolved people with a greater potential and capacity for harmony than what might have been the case before. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. Group 3, this can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. All right, so we have F, E, B, U, D, W, I, K, and M. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry and some divination tools in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking those out as well. So I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.